Hello everybody, I'm in a beautiful place today. You wouldn't believe it, can you see it here? On a clear day, it's the second highest point in County Monaghan. It's called Fincarn Hill, and in mythology, Finn McCool threw a large stone from Slieve Gullion, which is over here in the coulees, and it landed here, and this stone split in two. There, can you see that? That's one of the stones. And the other one is down there. I'll show you a photograph of it later. There's those two stones. So it's a second, and Paul here, you can see, has put an Irish trickler up on top of this hill to show pride in our country and ourselves as a people. This is Ireland. Ireland belongs to the Irish people. And we're not going to have it colonised and stolen away by the British, by anybody else, by people from Afghanistan, Somalia, or people from Brussels. This is Ireland, this is for the Irish people. And we have lots to be proud of. We've inherited an awful lot. We have a lot to celebrate, a lot to be proud of, and we have a lot still to achieve. So tell us a wee bit about this just here as well, Paul.
There's a graveyard here on the top of the hill here, because I don't know, it goes back hundreds of years. I have 20 acres of land here. We're not allowed to touch this corner. This is marked down there. You can see there's this rubble. And supposedly his grave is right across the road now. In your camera, you can see the bush in the middle of the field over there?
Yeah.
That's supposedly
Finn's
grave.
Okay, that big mound.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the bush. See the bush away over in the distance?
Yes.
Here,
Yeah, oh, very good. Well, one thing that we're in great farmland here, like the drumlins of Ulster, you can see them going around here. These kind of shallow hills all around that formed by the glacial movements or whatever. But one thing that I meant to talk about was the great farming land. Of course, farmers historically have been very pro-EU. But I was saying at the IFA meeting in Monaghan on Tuesday night that it's very important. Farmers, there was economist Keynes used to say that when the facts change, I change my opinions. What do you do? I would say to the farmers of Ireland that where the EU was your friend, gave you plenty of money over the decades, it has now turned its attention to you as an enemy. It now sees farmers not as necessity, about the importance of food and food security, and for ourselves, an Irish perspective about farming. We're all from the land. We get our food, not only our food from the land, but also throughout our history, throughout our culture, is like literally embedded in the land of Ireland. But now the EU has, because of this environmental turn, that they see farmers and farming, fucking cow flatulence is worse than murder. It's taken on a ridiculous turn of this fear of carbon dioxide, which is necessary for photosynthesis. It now sees it as an enemy to life itself, which is a complete inversion. And some of the aspects that came up was, one of the matters that came up is the EU wants to gung-ho, it's in favour of expansion of the EU. The consequences of that, of taking in the Western Balkans and, for instance, Ukraine, would be cap budget would be shared with maybe twice the number of farmers. So that means, logically, that the amount of money for Irish farmers would decrease dramatically. Also, Mercosur is a threat to Irish farming. If the Mercosur deal, which is good for German car manufacturers to sell their Mercedes and Porsches in Latin America, but it's very bad for Irish farmers because you would have 99,000 tons of Brazilian beef coming to Ireland, and of course the price of beef would fall through the floor, and the quality of the beef would also fall because these hormone injected cattle from Brazil wouldn't be good for our health either. But a very important aspect which came up was, and I made clear, is that the 13 MEPs who are in Brussels at the minute Every one of them, including the so-called pro-farming parties of Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, etc., they all voted for the nature conservation law, which is basically an EU land grab of good arable land, especially along the Shannon there, and it basically wants to put this good land into abeyance. Now it's voluntary now, but in the time as people become used to it, in time the EU will make this land grab, it will carry it out, and it will be involuntary. And anyway, taking good arable land out of production is a very silly idea when the population of the world is going up and food production is necessary more now than ever. So you can take it from me that Irish Freedom Party, and I as a candidate who I have worked in the European Parliament for 15 years. I know the people who make the law. I know the process. I believe I'm very well qualified to become an MEP. I'm more experienced than every member of Irish MEPs, including Ming Flanagan, has only been there for 10 years. I've worked in the European Parliament for 15 years. I will be voting against EU expansion. I will vote against the EU Mercosur deal. I will be voting against Land Restoration Act. And I'll also be voting against the EU Migration Pact, which will have grave consequences and will basically is a handing over of Irish sovereignty over to Brussels, so they're the people who decides how many people can come and live and reside in Ireland. I believe all these things are very dangerous. So, speaking here in Fincarn's Hill, second highest mound in Monaghan, I'm asking the people of Monaghan for their vote on June the 7th. Send out a clear message to those people in the Dáil and to these bureaucrats in Brussels that Ireland belongs to the Irish people. We're good enough to make our own laws, decide our own budgets and borders, and make laws for the benefit of the Irish people, and we're not here to be a patsy for everybody else. Unless the farmers vote for a nationalist Eurosceptic parties in the future, the EU has turned on farmers, and farmers will go the way of Irish fishermen unless they show a bit of balls and show that, look, you only make a deal with us, you give us a good deal, or we're willing to walk away. Otherwise, bureaucrats in Brussels will continue to walk all over you. So over and out here for Hermann Kelly, Irish Freedom Party candidate here in beautiful County Monaghan. Gura Margotsa, Slán Hispanic.